I welcome you to this next C and C++ aptitude preparation workshop. Today's session we are going to continue next questions, and I here create the question number 11. So let's first write the sample code stdio.h, and then we write main function. I here create array variable of size 5, and there I keep some numbers. So here I call a function reverse array values. So the question here is write recursive function recurs rec, write recursion function to return addition of all array values. I here define one function. Function is integer. Addition is the function name. I accept array variable and it's in integer type. Let's consider the argument name is x, and to perform addition I declare here the global variables. I is the index number, and to perform addition I declare one more variable as sum. Sum is a by defaultly 0. So this variable is global variable. Global variables accessible inside function and as well outside function. The scope is global, you can access throughout the program. To perform addition I here keep the index value by defaultly 0, and then I'm typing here as sum is equal to sum plus x of I. Sum plus x of I. The next line here we write again call the addition function and pass the value of x. As well here I type I plus plus. So some note points for you. Recursion meaning is function calls itself is called as recursion. So here the function calls itself for how many times? It's infinite. It not ends. It never ends. So to end this function, I here type my logic. That is, if I cross the value 5, then I return from the function. So basically I starts with 0, and 0 greater than 5 is false. So when I increments, it is checking 1 greater than 5, next 2 greater than 5, 3 greater than 5. At one position the I variable cross the value 5 and stops, the function stops working. So after that here the addition function that many times doing the operation sum is equal to sum plus x of I. But why to perform recursion? Because recursion save your time. The time complexity of recursion function is less than the regular for loop and while loop. That's why do recursion. Now this function I'm calling as a addition function. Actually I'm typing the wrong name. Addition is the function name, and this function returns me addition of all the array values. So that addition is actually global variable, so you can directly print that value. If you write addition of all array values is equal to %t, comma, the variable name is sum. One more point is, what is global variable? Global variable is uh, scope of variable is global when declare outside function. Okay, so this variable you can access throughout the program. Now here I print the addition. Let's check the output. This is question number 11 and I save this inside the workshop folder here. And this is the day 2. Question number 11. Now let's compile program and execute the file. So this prints 178. So just to verify is it correct or not, let's type some simple values and now check the answer. So this prints addition 5. It's correct. So the main thing is what is recursion and what is global variable. Similarly, we will discuss now the next question here. Question number 12 is a structure is given with name called gadget, and in that structure the quantities are given, integer quantities, integer quantities. Now this type definition for the structure is uh, mobile. Okay, this is the type definition, integer quantities, and in double data type, total sale is a one variable. Double data type, total sale is a one variable. Now here I create main function, void main, declare that object of mobile as products. They are total 5 products. They are total 5 products. And here I collect that 5 product details like this. The first product is quantities are 45 and the total sale is 9 lakh rupees. 9 lakh rupees. And then another one sale is 12 and here I'm typing as the amount 6 lakh rupees. Next is 54, 14 lakh rupees. Next is 12 quantities with 46,000 rupees. And the last one here, the last one 43 quantities, 48,000 rupees. So they are all the products. They are all the products. So question is, take input from user. Take input from user as minimum and maximum quantities. Define function to return a define function to return a how many gadgets are in between the minimum and maximum quantities. Okay, so we will check the gadget quantity. That gadget quantities should be greater than or equal to minimum and less than or equal to maximum or not using a function. Now here we define a function. The function name is void get some gadgets, and it accepts 3 arguments. One is of type mobile as products array. Let's write this as records. After that the value of n, how many gadgets there are. After that minimum quantities and maximum quantities. So let's here define this function. Now here is the get some gadgets is the name of function, and I pass there the products, then I pass their total 5, then I pass the minimum quantity and maximum quantity. User is going to enter minimum and maximum quantity, minimum quantities, maximum quantities, they are two variable. Directly write scanf, and the scanf takes input as minimum quantities, and another scanf takes argument as maximum quantities, mean and max, the two different values. Here is maximum quantities. Okay, so that values we pass to function minimum and maximum. Done. So after that, these are the different parameters. The values what you pass are the parameters, and these are the arguments. So remember, the syntax of function is it should match the sequence of parameters type. The parameters type, if you check, products is an object array of type structure mobile, and here I'm typing the mobile records. Another is a parameter, I'm passing value 5 because there are total 5 records. Next I'm typing minimum and maximum quantities. Minimum quantities are maybe user enter here as 20, and maximum quantities user enters here as 49. So 20 and 49, between them, how many records matching between 20 and 49? So 45 is matching, this 43 is also matching, but other three are the not matching records. So now our logic should check how many they are matching with the uh, minimum and maximum quantities. So let's check. If I'm typing a loop for I from 0 to I less than n, I plus plus, and here I check if records of I is greater than or equal to, records of I means the object dot quantities greater than or equal to minimum quantities, and records of I dot quantities less than or equal to maximum quantities. If it is matching, then I just count how many they are, and here I write integer counter, which is by defaultly 0. So they are total 2. Okay, they are total 2, and this count is just to create a structure object of that many counts. Okay, create a structure object of that many counts. So now we will define a structure object of the count 2. Now here I'm typing structure object is of type mobile, and how many objects you want, that the count you must declare. So for that I here type only the star, and I'm typing the object name as answer. Answer is the one array. Okay, answer is the one array. So here I type is equal to new malloc is a function to create array object of a structure dynamically, and here I pass size of mobile multiplied by what? Size of mobile multiplied by quantities. So this expression we write after counting how many objects matching. So here we write now answer object is equal to new, not new. We type malloc, and in the bracket I convert this to type mobile also. Okay, so this logic maybe looks complex for you if you are not aware of or not familiar with the coding of structure and as well the dynamic memory allocation. But all students, I share you one important point, that is when you are trying any aptitude exams or any programming round exams, so what they expect is the logic as well as the coding style, means what topics you include in your programming. So that matters a lot. So just for output you are trying some of basic lines, so it will be like a less considerable code. So always remember the code should be with the data structure logic, and to meet that requirements you must use the structure functions and possibly dynamic memory allocation. So that's why I'm going through that logic. So the expected results are not only important here, the requirements also meet the data structures what you are implemented in your logic. So check this. I'm using the object structure. I'm using the function. I'm using pointer as well as I'm using dynamic memory allocation. So you think about it, and this logic, if you are solving first time, then it of course goes complex. But you study these programs at least for 10 times, then after that you will be also fine and good enough to solve such type of questions. Now here I convert this to type mobile, and malloc is from the header file std lib.h. So I type hash include, this is stdio.h, and another is the hash include string, it's std lib.h. So just let me know how many of you already coded, or at least you know the topics structure and dynamic memory allocation in any programming language, not only in C, like C, C++, Java. If you know, you can mention that in the chat box. Let's save this code as question number 12.c. I just go below and here I complete my code. Okay, so I type multiplication with quantities. So the logic is going on as I first find how many objects matching with minimum and maximum quantities. So that count, I create number of objects, and after that what? That many different records we store into that object. So now how to store the data? To store the data, let's write here our code. I write a loop. I is from 0 to I less than quantities I plus plus, and after that answer of I is equal to, answer of I is equal to, now here we check our condition as well. Now which quantities are matching, that I should check. Okay, so I'm typing I less than n I plus plus, and the same condition once again I copy paste, once again I copy paste, and to the particular index number we store the record. So for answer we create a one k as a index number which is 0, and here we write answer of k is equal to records of I. Answer of k is equal to records of I. And finally, I type return a answer. Return a answer. So answer is a pointer object. So when you return a value from function, the return type should be what? Matching type. And void not returns any value. So if you return a 10, write return type integer. If you return a 1.9, write return type float. If you return a small a, write return type character. Now here you return a value as a array object, then you type the proper type. So it should be mobile star. Now this function you are calling at line 30. So here you store that answer. So let's declare one uh, another variable called solution. So this is a solution object, and this solution object store your answer, solution. So let's compile and just verify the syntax I'm trying is correct or not. So let's say click compile, and it is saying I undeclared, I variable not declared here. So let's declare a variable called I and another variable called k. Save this. And one more thing, the function definition is after the main function. So you declare this function here. Okay, declaration is important. Compile this code. Now the declaration is wrong at the line number 47 because we here declared a variable called k. Compile this, and now no output because we just got the answer. Now here we write a loop to print the answer. So I type the answer as I from 0 to I less than. Now how many values you are getting in that solution, that also you need a count. Okay, but C language fails to get that count outside the function. Okay, so this is a one big challenge that return two values from the function, which is not possible. Secondly, the array length you cannot find. Array length also you cannot find for the particular object. So that is a big challenge in C language. Okay, but if you do this code using like languages Java, C Sharp, Python, so there they provided the property called length, and using that property you can easily find the length of variable array. Okay, so here my case, this is, we have total two objects, but I have one solution, that is I will use, instead of for loop, I will use while loop. Okay, I will use while loop, and what I will do now is I type here one, so one stands for true. Okay, so let's print the data like percent d slash n percent d slash t percent point two lf lf. And now I here type the record values as solution is a pointer object, so solution arrow operator quantities, and solution arrow operator is a syntax that to access attributes of structure if the object is of type pointer. So then I here type solution plus plus solution plus plus. So this loop is infinite because I'm typing here one, there is no condition, but you can try one condition, that is if, here you write that if solution points to null, if solution points to null, then you stop the execution. If it is null, then you stop the execution. Okay, so we write break keyword. Now let's save, click compile, and then execute the code. So break keyword spelling mistake. Now let's check the code, compile and run. I'm not getting any output, means something is going wrong. So let me check my code. So this code is of total 68 lines. Okay, and when in interview aptitudes they ask you question, they give you I think 30 minutes or max 45 minutes to solve the questions. So you remember such type of logic that time and implement, it's a big challenge. But if you practice every day different kind of programs, then of course it will be easy to write the logic. So now let's here check what's going wrong. So let me just print for only once. I delete this everything, and now we will try the code. Okay, the one more line I like to add here as printf slash n end. The program ends here. It is still processing. So maybe the loop somewhere going infinite. Here it is ends at n. Here it is ends at n I plus plus. So I'm typing it is correct. Okay, records of I. Get gadgets. I'm calling this function and I receive the information in solution. Then I print the data. Correct. Printf function successful. Okay, so this solution accepts the array data, right? But it's possible. Compile and now click run. The mistake is in my function. See this, it's not processing. So the mistake is before this loop. Let me check this line here. Here also we write a one line, that is calling function. Sometimes the logic is correct, but due to some bugs, it's not work. So you can debug it typing such lines. Still, it's going wrong. So let me go through the lines once again. Uh, these are the records. Okay, so they are correct. I created this. Let me copy this, and here we write logic starts here. Right. So it's working, but after this line, something is going wrong. Okay, my mistake. What happens is, in the online compilers, some of you maybe attended the online examinations. So they expect the inputs without labeling. So this scanf, I must enter something, then only your program starts. Check this. If I enter the minimum and maximum amount like this, enter, type the minimum amount, let's say 12,000. That quantity is you are typing, right? 20, and the maximum quantity is 49. Then it calls the method, function is successful, and it's printing 48 and 43 is the quantity 48,000. It's correct, but it's only one, and the output I expect for the two quantities. Now let's remove these labels. Okay, there is no any logical mistake, even no bugs. This scanf I must enter the value to execute this code. So here I write a loop. Okay, I write one, and then we keep this inside the loop here like this. We write solution plus plus, solution plus plus. Let's also, you can print the address of that, particular pointer. So if you write here the pursue, it will print the address just to tell you where is the pointer working. I'll show you how it works. Close this, and let me break for only once. Okay, now check this, and after solution plus plus also, if you print, it will go for the next address. Let me just do directly, it will go infinite now. So if I enter 20 and 49, it will go infinite. Check this, this is going infinite. Okay, so if you check the memory address, every time it is giving you some address. So first time the address was 208, the value is 48,000. Second time it's going for the address 224, the values are incorrect. Like this it's going ahead. So the data you can print using two ways, either using the memory address or either using the index numbers. So these you can access using the index numbers also, like this. For your just knowledge, I'm sharing this because it's as well preparation, right? Slash n. I type here as solution of 0 quantities, solution of 0 total sale. Let me remove this also, and now I'll print this data as one more time, copy and paste, and if I type solution of 1, it will print the another one value. Let's check the output. If I input, error is invalid argument. Okay, dot, it is array. Now if I compile and execute, then here if I type 20 and 49, this prints 43, 48,000. I think only one is 43 is correct. 45 is also correct. So first one is the 45, and I am getting the output only for 48,000, last one only. Okay, here the k not incremented. You increment the value of k. So for the next record, now check this. 20 and 49, it will print two objects. Done. So this is how you can solve the questions. So these are the complex questions. So yesterday I told you I'm going through the different parts of this workshop. The first part yesterday completed was basic. Second part also yesterday completed was logical. So this is the complex part going on. Okay. So maybe you people thinking of what is this? So this type of logic is expected in the programming rounds. Okay. Now we will go ahead. So here I type another question, and you also involve yourself to solve this question now. See, I'm typing this stdio.h, after that main function, and then here given a function, and that function is integer generate number, it accepts a one number. Okay, it accepts a one number. And now your task is here the given structure called collection, and in that collection you are going to collect the index number and the random number. Okay, so this is the structure. Now here is the type definition, and here is the one constant declaration, hash define max 5, max 5. Okay, so here is the object of that structure, and what is the type definition name? Type definition name is random number, or instead we write like only collection. Now here I write collection, and the object name is C only. So your task is here you save that number into the object. You save that number into the object. Here is a loop, for loop, where that loop starts with I is equal to 1, ends maximum up to maximum and I plus plus. So here the notes for you. Notes is hash define is macro in C language. Macro in C language used to declare constant. Another is type definition is keyword in C language used to define structure. Okay. So now if I call this function generate number, I copy this, I call here, and in that generate number I pass the value of I. Okay, I pass the value of I. Like here I'm writing as an array called integer x of max is equal to, I type some numbers. There are some just numbers. Okay, and you pass that numbers here. So you can write like this also. I less than max starts with 0, and here you pass x of I. So this generate number generates a nearest number. Okay, generate nearest base 100 number. Nearest base 100 number. For example, if number is 48, then nearest base 100 number is you say the number is 58, mean the nearest base 100 number is 100. For example, one more, if number is equal to 343, then nearest base 100 number is 200. One more example, if number is, let's say, 31374, then nearest base 100 number is 400. Okay, 400. So you given a task, define your logic, to generate nearest base 100 number, and add it in structure collection. Okay, structure collection. So this is of max size 5. So you are going to store there index number 0, and that random number will be the nearest number. So let me know how you can solve the question. So if anybody knows the logic, you can drop the message, or you can raise the hands, and we will solve the question. So anybody from you? I explain this question once again. Given a one structure, given a one empty function, and array in main function. So in array, I given the 5 numbers. Now I pass that numbers to generate number, and generate number will generate a nearest base 100 number. So the first is the 847. So if you pass is 847, then the nearest base 100 number is 800. For 5223, the nearest base 100 number is 5220. The nearest base 100 number for 9845 is 9800, and the nearest for 25 is only 0, because it's not greater than 50, right? So let me know how we can start the code logic. So maybe anybody can start the logic at least. So we will continue the code. These type of challenges are provided in the programming rounds. So you have 30 minutes to solve such questions. Okay. So you can give your good try to solve the question. Okay, let me explain. See how to solve this. The number is, first one we will consider 847. So here, if I let's write the condition, that is find the last 2 digits from the number. So I want to separate last 2 digits, and to do that I'm typing number modulo 100. Okay, so modulus is symbol used to find remainder, and I'm typing number modulo 100. Now number modulo 100 will be 47. So this 47, if it is greater than 50, that 47, if it is greater than 50, then what? I then separate the value 8. I then separate the value 8, means the except the 2 digits, we will separate the remaining. Okay, so I type here number upon 100. So number upon 100 will be 8.47. but it will give you only the integer part 8, and I multiply it with 100, and I multiply with it 100 and return from the function. See, here you are getting 8, and 8 into 100 is what? 800. Okay, go for, let's say, 55, 855. So the nearest base 100 number will be 900. So to get the answer 900, I write here else part, and here I write if it is less than 50, then it is correct. Number upon 100 into 100. Otherwise, we write return number divided by 100 into 100 plus 100. So the number is 855. 855 mod 100 is 55. So 55 less than 50 is false. So 855 divided by 100 is 8. 8 into 100 is 800, and plus 100 is the 900. So you are getting your answers. So as you get your answer, you add it to the collection C. Okay. So how I type this? C of I dot I is equal to I, and the next C of I dot random number is equal to C of I dot random number is equal to generator number is equal to generator number. So I assign that values, and after that I like to print the output. So here I write for I from 0 to I less than max I plus plus, and then here we write let's say printf slash n percent d slash t percent d comma c of I dot I, and then I print c of I dot random number, c of I dot random number. So first I show you the output, and then I explain you this logic once again. So this is question number 13 dot c. Now I click compile, then I click run and check this. I'm getting the correct answers. Okay, you can compare 855 nearest base 100 is 900. The index is 0. 5223, it is 5220, it's correct, and the index is 1. 9845, 9800, 25, it's coming 0. They are total 4 values. Fifth one value, if I add, let's say 78, then it will print 100. Then it will print 100. It's coming correct. So this is the required output. So if you understood, you type you understood. If you not, then you type explain. So I will explain these questions once again. Just let me know how many of you getting this logic. I hope I'm trying my best to explain you the logic, but maybe due to the network issues, or maybe somewhere you left, then this logic you face complex. So just let me know how many of you understood the logic. So Utkarsh is saying understood. Other people also, you can give me the feedback, and accordingly we will continue the session. Okay, good. So I keep continue the session. So this is how you can write your logic, the best logic. Now we will go ahead. Here is the another program, question number 14. Now this is important question for you. Okay, let me write this hash include stdio.h, then is the main function, and then is the here given a structure again, and that structure name is vehicle. That vehicle structure provided some declarations: integer vehicle code, character vehicle type, then is character vehicle name, then is in float fuel capacity, integer distance covered. Okay, so they are all the variables. Now the type definition also given. Here is the type definition name we give VEH. So I here declare the object of that VEH. VEH records is equal to curly bracket semicolon, and in that I declare another one curly bracket. So the data for first vehicle code is 1837. Vehicle type, it is transport vehicle, and then the vehicle name is, let's say, bus, and then the fuel capacity is 70 liters, and then the distance covered is 400 kilometers. Similarly given some more records here. Total there are 5 records, and another code is something like this. Here is the one another code. Here is the one more code, and here is a one more code. So this is private vehicle type, and it is BMW car. After that, another one vehicle is here, the uh, transport, and it is truck. And after that, here is also transport, and this is car. And here it is a private, and then it is again another car. So just I'm typing car. The vehicle fuel capacity is 34. Here it is 150. Then it is 30, and then it is 25. Now here I am typing some details. So this is 129. This is 390. This is 20, and this is 100. So they are the all records. Okay. So here 3 questions given. Question number one is question number one is print records in print records which are which are which having its fuel capacity between minimum and maximum values provided as parameters to function. So you define a function to solve this question. Question number 2 is print records order by vehicle code in ascending order. And the last one question, input any vehicle code and check that it is exist in data or not. So there are 3 different questions. So why I'm taking this question for you is you will understand how structure object works, how algorithms work. I'm going to implement here the data structure algorithms. Here is the first one, fuel capacity between the particular parameters. Another one is the vehicle code to sort it in ascending order. So that I will use the selection sort or bubble sort. Then the third one is the search option, and using the binary or linear search, I'm going to search the records. So maybe some of you people already know the logic, so you can immediately write this code for your side as well and execute. So let's start this logic. So here I define my first function, that is show some records as a one function, and there I pass records, then I pass the minimum and maximum values. So user here will input the minimum and maximum range. So I type scanf %d comma address of minimum, scanf %d comma address of maximum. Okay, and that min max values you pass in that function, min and max values. Okay, like this. So we define this function, shows some records here. Void shows some records. It accepts the data from this vehicle. So let's take that here, records, and then I declare one another variable, integer, minimum fuel and maximum fuel. Now start the loop. I from 0 to I less than 5, I plus plus, and let's try if records of I greater than or equal to minimum fuel capacity and records of I less than or equal to maximum fuel capacity, then only print such records. So here you write a code that is /n %d. I will use /n %10d, then %20s, %20s, percent 10.2f, and percent, I think the last value is fuel capacity or distance covered, so it is %10d again. Then I type here records. The next line we will print records I dot records of I dot vehicle code. Then we print records of I dot vehicle name. I think the type then is records of I dot vehicle name, then is the fuel capacity, and then is the distance covered. So here is records of I dot, even to the next line also you can write records of I dot fuel capacity and records of I dot distance covered. Okay, so this function is now ready to execute, and let's check the output. So you first declare this as a function prototype before the main function, and let's save the program as well. Question number 14 dot c, and here I declare the function before main. Okay, so variable is I. Compile. Max fuel, what is saying? Okay, integer is missing. Max fuel, it should be float. Here it should be float. Here also. Done. And here also. Percent f. Incompatible type for argument. Okay. Brackets missing. Greater than or equal to records of I dot fuel capacity. Records of I dot fuel capacity. Records of I dot fuel capacity. Now check the minimum fuel capacity. If I type 50 and the maximum fuel capacity if I type 100, then it prints only one. 50 to 100. 50 to 100. It is showing 1837 only. The first one is the between 50 to 100. Correct. If I type another one, 1 to 100 or 10 to 100, 10 to 100, then it prints the 4 vehicles. Okay, so this is working. Another code is print records order by vehicle code in ascending order. Do the same. Copy, create one another function, sort records. sort records by vehicle code. This is the function, and now I accept that argument records only and do the sorting. So the sorting code is, I implement here the selection sort. Selection sort. So if you know what is selection sort, you can understand. I start with selected index is 0 to 5 and it increments every time. The comparison index starts with selected index plus 1 and that comparison index ends at 5. Comparison index increments by 1 and I check condition as records of I selected index dot vehicle code is a greater than records of I dot records of comparison index dot vehicle code. Then only I write the swapping as taking the temporary variables. So all that data I want to make swap, so I can type like this: records of selected index I keep inside a temporary object. So here I write records of selected index is equal to records of comparison index. Records of comparison index is equal to records of selected index or temporary. It should be temporary. So where the temporary is a object of structure vehicle. Temporary is a object of structure vehicle. This is the sorting logic. Now I call this function here. Okay. Now check the output. If I execute this code, so let's, the selected index is a variable, comparison index is a variable, as well this function you declare at the top of main function. Okay, then only it will work. Compile, sort records by vehicle code, arguments records. Now let's check if I'm typing 60 to 100. So there is only one vehicle and only I sorted the data. But to print the data, I need to write this loop once again. So I copy this and I paste after this here. So this is sorting the data, right? So here you declare that variable I and you print the records without checking any conditions. Print the data. Now check this, compile, execute. So if I type 60 to 100, so first record is the output for the first question. Next 5 records are sorted. Check this. By vehicle code it is sorted or not. 1414, 1453, 1837, 4252 and 5234. Records are sorted. Private and 3 are the transports. So this is the logic of second question. But to understand this logic, you must be sure about, you know, what is selection sort. Okay. And one more question, input any vehicle code and check that it exists in the vehicle data or not. So search vehicle by code as a one function. This accepts the records. This accepts a one user input. So user will enter any vehicle code and that I want to check exist or not. Okay, so user vehicle code is the one variable we declare at the top of main function. So let's take the input as user vehicle code. Declare this variable here. I declare this variable here as an integer. Okay, and the next step is I define the function. So here I define the function records and pass vehicle code. Records and pass vehicle code. Copy this, define function here, and the types are vehicle and it is integer. So how to check? If write a for loop I from 0 to I less than 5, I plus plus, and to the next line if I type records of I if the vehicle code matching with the user given code, then user given code, then it's exist. So if it exists, I return the index number I. Okay. Otherwise, at the end, I return a -1. So this function returns me integer value. If found, I'm getting the index number. If not found, I'm getting -1. Declare this function before the main. Here, you're calling this. So you can write if, you first collect the index number, and then the next line you write, if that index comes -1, you can write printf vehicle number you entered not exist. And the else part you can write printf /n vehicle number %d found at index number %d. So here you first print the user vehicle code, and then it is the index number, like this. Save this. So index is the one more variable I declare here, comma index. Save this. Now click compile, and search vehicle by code. It is saying what? Incompatible type of argument 1. Search vehicle by code. I'm passing the records. So in the records here, I must create it is array. This is also array. Now click compile, and then variable not declared. Okay. Click compile, and now click run. So here, see the output. First is that particular uh, fuel capacity data. So this is sorted, and after that you enter the vehicle code. Let's say I enter 1837. So this prints vehicle number found at index number 2. Okay, found at index number 2, 012. It's correct. What if the vehicle number not found? So you type something here, and after that if I type something wrong vehicle code, it prints vehicle number you entered not exist. Perfect. Third question was really important, and you go through these all the lines once again, seeing the recordings. So you also update your skill to the best level. Now we will discuss next question. Question number 15. Question number 15 is short and logical both. So let's write this hash include stdio, then write the main function, and here is the one code. Okay, here is the one given question, that is in integer uh, you given a one position. So what you have to do is, from this sample string, let's say is equal to, here I'm typing something sample string, that is uh, word is, let's say here we write just like lorem ipsum dummy website data provided fake paragraphs. Something is there. Okay, fake paragraphs. So here you given the strings ending with digits or numbers. 43, here is 5, here is a 22, here is a 52, here is 44. Here it is not given, but here given is our number 11, and here it is given like 41. So you provided these numbers. Okay. So what task given to you is, now this challenge I keep for you, and you take input from user as a position, %d, %d, comma, address of position. So what you have to find is print which word, print which word in given string ends with ends with number number less than user input number after the given position after the given position. Okay, so what you do is you take two inputs from user. One is the position, another is the number. So you write the scanf here one more time, percent d address of, you write number. Okay, now if the position, if you type 10, let's say if you type 15 and the number you are tried as 35, so what you have to do is here the 15th position means this is the 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 14, here 15. So after this only, in this remaining string, check which word ends with number less than 35. So here the word fake 11 ends with 11 and that 11 is less than 35. So you print that word. This is the question to you. So anybody know how we can sort out this logic and print that answer fake 11? Seems challenging and complex because no response. But I can give you a hint. First step you can do, you can separate the words from the space and then you can separate the digits. I give you a one small hint here. Check words is the one function. I pass there the sample string. I pass there the position and then I pass number also. Okay. So we define this function check words. Character star, the function name I write check words. And here we declare the arguments character sample string, after that integer position and then integer number. To the next line, the required variables are substring to create substring. Next is one more variable I take to hold a substring word. We declare I variable for loop and number variable as well. Here I take another one variable called last and I'm going to check the length of string sample string. So I write length of sample string minus position. So this is the sample string and I subtract position from the length. So the complete length, if it is 100, so if I subtract the position as let's say 11, so something I'm getting up to these characters. But just wait. Here the next line, if I write string reverse, so I type sample string. So this string I first make reverse. So for that reverse string, I'm going to copy the first n characters. So strncpy, if I write in substring store the answer and copy the n characters from the substring. So the meaning is, if the sample word, consider just the word, if it is ABCD, then you first take the count of words, therefore the position, if it is 2, then you are getting the answer as 2. You make the reverse of this ABCD and then you copy the first two letters, that is C and D. Okay, D and C. Now the next is, I here type substring of nth position, store the null character, means after that no characters. And finally I once more here write string reverse of I write that string reverse of substring, right? So the reverse of this string is cd. So I successfully copied the from position I split, from the second position I split the string and I'm getting the last characters. So this is my here answer. Now what is next? I want to print that substring. So I can write printf slash n printf slash n substring is equal to percent s comma substring. Okay, after that the next task is, I want to separate each word and then I want to separate that last remaining digits and I want to check, is it ending with the user provided number less than that number or not. So for that, here is, we are going to type one another variable, word is a one string variable, and there I write str tok is a one library function, and if you pass substring and if you give empty space, so this splits the string from the space occurring space. So from here it splits the word and it keeps in the variable word. So after that, the next line I write one more time string reverse. Here I pass that word, so I just want to separate that last digits. After that I type strncpy, then I write x comma word comma 2. The last two are the digits in this string. Everywhere we have exactly two digits. Okay, mistakenly I added one, but it is two digits. Everywhere we add the two digits. Now what is next? The next is, I write substring of that word, means x of 2. I keep the ending character as a null, and then the next one we type the variable number. I already declared that number variable, so that x variable is a string format. I want to convert to type integer, so I'm going to call one library function called a2i from stdlib.h, which converts the string values to integer. Pass here the x and convert it to type number, integer number. So here I check a logic, if that number less than the given number and number is not equal to 0, then only reverse the string of word and here print that word percent s comma I write that word. So this is only for the first word. Okay, what about the remaining words? So we'll try this same logic using a for loop or while loop. I write a while loop and now I'm going to check if the word is not equal to null. If the word is not equal to null, then here we write string ncpy. In that word, copy the strtok function return value. I type here null and here I pass the empty double quotes. So this will give me the string where it splits from spaces. The next line I write str reverse of this word Once I reverse, then I write strncpy, and the value I want to store in the variable x from the word, and I copy the last two characters. After that I write x of 2 is equal to slash 0, we end it with slash 0, and then I write again a to I function and convert this x value. Check here the same condition, I copy paste the same and we write down here. Okay, we write down here. So what is next? The next thing is we will execute this function and check the output, it's working or not. So this is my code. Now let's compile, and it is showing me one error, that is n. So last is the actually answer, last. Here we should write the position as a last. Now compile. Here is a one also problem, we here also write last. Now let's compile. Here is the double comma, silly mistakes. Okay, strncpy, the error is n undeclared. Okay, here I am missing in ncpy how many characters to copy, so it should be strcpy only. It's my mistake. Here also, after reverse it should be 2, n means 2. Copy, run. So the first, you first need to input what? Position. The position is 10. So which number? Less than what? 20. So this prints the different words like this from the position 10. Now here it is showing you fake 11 and paragraph 41. So actually I want to print which number is less than 20, and we will check which numbers are less than 20. So less than 20, there is fake 11 is only one, and that should be only the output. So it is showing me here, but it is also showing me the paragraph 41. Let's check what's going wrong here, and we will complete the code. Okay, so the thing is, I'm missing here one code, that is if I write string reverse of x, so I reverse it because this number it is showing me like 25, this is 11 is okay, but it is 14. So we will reverse it, then it will be work. So let's check now. If I input this 10 and 20, it's working, only one number. So what if I write less than 60? Run this again, 10 and 60. So this is showing me all the numbers which are below 60. Perfect. So this is the logic. So what we covered this program is on string how to manipulate the numeric operations, and I hope you understood this session. These all the 5 programs I covered my best to explain you the complex logics. We will stop this session here, and you also keep learning with these type of logics. For any help, you contact me, we will solve together.